You talk about relationships, you can't be so stringent. Meaning that you can't be so hard. The reason is because relationships comes from who you are. A religious person can't be themselves. But somebody that knows who they are walks and talks and breathes the presence of God. So if you're a carrier of the atmosphere and the presence of God, it's gonna determine the relationship you have with people. Now, if you mistreat people, then you mistreat God. I'm gonna say that again. If you mistreat people, you mistreat God. And what does that mean? That means that people that abuse other people in relationships, that comes from not having a relationship with God. That comes from being abused when you were young, mentally, verbally, or emotionally. And what can you do to fix that? Go to the presence of God. When somebody is restored in the presence of God, there's no greater than the love of God. I want you to say, there's nothing greater than the love of God. And I definitely feel that this message is much needed, just because everybody in some sort of area struggles with a relationship. Maybe with your best friend, maybe with your mother or your father, or maybe even just people within the church, okay? And with that, I want to start off by saying this. Too many people in the kingdom base a relationship off a worldly mentality.
Come on now. Good one.
I'm going to say that again. Too many people base a relationship in the kingdom off a worldly mentality, meaning that they bring everything in the world to the presence of God. Wow. So they choose a woman according to how they used to think. And that's the same thing that goes with women. Women choose men according to the way they think. So if they have an old mindset, they're going to go into the church thinking, okay, I was with this girl and this girl and this girl, and I like this girl, and I like this and this girl, and I like that and that girl. So I'm going to put all of those qualities together, and I'm going to pick myself a perfect wife.
That's true.
Can I get an amen to that? And as we all know, I want you to say with me, life is a jungle.
Life is a jungle.
Say with me, life is a jungle.
Life is a jungle.
Today's a creative preaching, so I'm going to preach creatively. How many of you want me to preach creatively? Okay. All right, so since life is a jungle, that means that everywhere we go, there's going to be predators. Everywhere we go, there's going to be predators, whether it be sharks, whether it be eagles, whether it be wolves. And unfortunately, in the church, we have a lot of wolves. A lot of men that come to the church to take out the woman of God and bring them back to the world. Let me tell you something. If you're doing that, may the judgment of God come upon you, and may you die in your sin. Because if you're causing somebody else to stumble, that is a double murder in the spirit. I said that is a double murder in the spirit. So life is a jungle, and sometimes if you're not careful, you can bring home somebody that's in the animal kingdom. And some of you got into the wrong relationship, and you're asking yourself why? Why is this person being like this? Because that person wasn't the will of God in the first place for you. And let me tell you something. If you're reasoning and doubting this, you already know that relationship is not of God. Because something that is with God always brings the presence of God, always brings the love of God, always brings respect from God. And this is one thing that lacks, is respect. We have so many, not only couples, but men of God that are disrespected just because of the simple fact that nobody taught you how to treat a man of God. Nobody taught you how to treat a woman. So you treat women like an object, and that's why when you go home, you have an abusive relationship. You have a verbal abusive relationship because you don't know what it is to have a role model as a relationship. But let me tell you, in this house, we have Apostle and Prophet Ana Maldonado, and they've been married over 25 years. They've been perfect examples of somebody that lives holy before God. And I'm proof, and my brother is proof of a couple. And I'm going to tell you this, because there's a lot of people that they want a wife. They want a wife that is according to their measure, but not God's. And that's why, because you're trying to meet your standards and you're not meeting God's standards. And the thing is, I want you to say with me, I want God's will, not my will. Now, the thing is, in the Bible it says that Adam being in the presence of God, in Genesis, Adam being in the presence of God, it says that he was lonely. Now, what does that mean? That he was in the presence of God. Some of you are trying to find a woman without the presence of God.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
You're too busy looking at how she looks, if she has a big this and a big that, and you're not worried about her heart. You're not worried if she respects you. You're not worried if she's a woman of God. You're not worried if she worships. In order to pick a woman, you have to be knowledgeable and know that these are the things that's what's going to get you a good relationship. Now I want you to say with me, God's will, not mine. Now, and I'm going to tell you this, the reason why, and this is something that I've lived by experience. I've said, God, you know, I told the Lord so many times, because I've had relationships in the past, and I said, Lord, how do I know that the woman is going to be the woman for me? And he told me, when you're willing to give that woman up. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. When you get to the point in your life that you say, I'm willing to give that girl up, then God says, okay, because you're doing that, now I can give you your suitable mate. Now I can give you your support. And you see, a lot of you haven't been able to give it up. And that's why you're stuck in that relationship. And it's a soul tie. And it's a lust tie. And you're stuck to somebody because you're fornicating with them. And you're stuck on them. But you can't let them go, because in the first place, it wasn't God. And unfortunately, today, we don't know what it is to have a good relationship, just because 50%, and these are the statistics, 50% of divorce has gone up. And in the church, it's over 25%. You know what this means? That the men of God are not having a stable relationship with their wives.
Come on. Wow. Come on.
I'm not going to get into that because that's controversial. But this is a time where you need to be with your family. You see, girls and guys, if you want to know somebody, look at how they treat their parents. If you want to get to know somebody, look at how the guy treats his mother. If he treats his mother like a piece of garbage, that's how he's going to treat you. If the woman treats the dad like a piece of garbage, that's how she's going to treat you. So you know what that means? You have to get somebody that is according to God's will, that will seek His presence with all of his or her mind, not non-stop, day and night, and truly love God. You see, we have too many fakers in the church, too many people that claim to be a man of God, but behind that,
come on.
do you guys understand? And some of you don't even know what you want yet. And the reason why I say that is because you're 20 years old, you haven't finished your degree, you don't have a job, you don't have any sort of money, you don't have anything, and you're talking about you want to get married to Beyonce, and you want to get married to a good-looking girl, and you want to get married to a good-looking woman when you don't even have nothing. You don't even have a kingdom to put her in. You don't even have a car to put her in. You don't even have a tricycle to take her to McDonald's. Why are you asking for a fine wife when you don't have anything to give to her? And you know what happens? You know what happens? A lot of the guys, they pick girls that are good looking and girls that look good, but the girls don't pray good. If a girl looks good, listen to what I'm saying. If a girl looks good and she doesn't pray good, she's rotten on the inside. She's going to rot your family. She's going to rot your kids. She's going to rot everything around you because she doesn't pray good. Let me tell you something. A woman that prays good is the most attractive thing on this earth. A woman that gets on her knees and prays to the Lord, that is the most hottest thing on this planet. So if there's a good-looking girl here and you don't pray good, I challenge you to go to the presence of God.
Come on, Pastor. Hey.
Come on, son. Come on, Johnny. Come on, James. And some of you want to get with Apostle Paul when you slept with the whole block. So, some of you, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Some of you guys want to get married to Queen Esther.
Come on, talk to him.
I'm not going to say that. That's me.
No, say it.
That's me. Some of you want to get married to Queen Esther, and you don't even have a job. I mean, let me tell you something. A great man of God always looks for more in God. And the more he seeks of God, the more God gives him a house, he gives him a car, he gives him a kingdom, he makes him a king, he makes him a man of God. And if you haven't discovered your purpose yet, why are you looking for a girl? If you don't even know who you are yet, why are you looking for a woman? First, get to know who you are, get to know your purpose, and then you can get a queen-size mattress, a mattress giant. Oh no, Pastor, you don't understand. I want a blockbuster wedding.
Come on.
I want a blockbuster wedding and you don't even have a car. You don't even have a job. Let me tell you something. If you're looking for a queen, then you have to have a kingdom. And some of you don't have a kingdom yet. You're not stable. There's 3 things that you need, and write it down. You need in order to get married. I didn't say the role of a man. I said to get married. Number 1, you have to be spiritually stable. Spiritually, you have to know where you're at, number 1. And some of you don't know where you are spiritually. Some of you are more lost than Adam on Mother's Day. You don't know where you are. You don't know where you're standing. And you know why that is? You know why that sought God. You haven't seeked Him with all of your strength. That's number one. Number two, you have to be emotionally stable.
Wow, come on, Pastor, come on.
Can we get everybody inside? Too many people walking on the outside.
They're not stable.
They're not stable. Thank you, Peter. So number two, say with me, emotionally stable. Raise your hand and say emotionally stable. So number two, emotionally stable. And the Bible says a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways. Do you know what that means? That means that everything they do does not prosper. That's why you see somebody that tries to get a job, it doesn't work. They try to get in a relationship, it doesn't work. They try to have a fellowship with their mom, it doesn't work. You want to know why? Because emotionally, their emotions are not detached from everything. In order for you to be a man of God or a woman of God, you have to be emotionless. And I'm going to kick it right now. Do you want me to kick it? In God, and this is controversial, in God there's no pain. I said in God there's no pain. You know what that means? That if you're feeling pain, it makes who you are. That's too deep for some of y'all. I left you guys in the trenches. When you know who you are, it doesn't matter if they hit you with a bat. In the Bible it says that when Stephen, he was a martyr, that when Stephen was getting stoned, he said, I love the pain. I love the pain. Give it to me more. I want it more because I can see the light. I can see it. And I'm going to still declare. And I'm going to still preach. And I'm going to still fulfill my purpose. Even if you hit me. Even if you punch me. Even if you throw rocks at me. I'm going to preach His word. And light also means revelation. So say with me, in God there's no pain. And you know what's funny, and I get this all the time speaking with people. I have 47 disciples. Now I have 60 something. Because 45 are pastors' kids. But in counseling all these people, I see one thing in common. I see this. I see people with the worst garbage in their past, and then they're expecting a virgin from God.
Wow. The truth? Wow.
When somebody has kept themselves, when somebody has been there, stood in the gap, lived a holy life, and they've kept themselves, and there's another person that's been with 50 girls, how are you going to ask God for that?
Wow. Come on now.
And that's the truth.
Come on now. Speak to him. Got mad quiet. Come on. Wow.
Yeah, I did get quiet.
Get mad quiet.
And the thing is, God redeems. But you're not living a holy life. You're still living in sin. You still fornicate. You still do whatever you want. And you don't do your role as a man. And that's why God has to remove certain people out of your life for you to understand. Stop talking trash about the man of God. You see, I don't say this about me. I don't mean this about me, but there's men of God here. There's people that have came up to me to speak bad about Peter, to distort the relationship that me and him have. There's people that came up to me to tell me bad things about Pastor Frank. And you want to know something? I never allow somebody else from the outside to destroy a kingdom relationship that God established. And if you're here and you hear venom from other people, cut those people off from your life. And the reason why some of you can't receive is because you heard that venom. And there's some people that can't receive from you, man or woman of God. And the reason is because criticism cuts the influence of another person. I'm not going to get into that.
Come on.
Now, I want you to write this down. I'm almost done. Some of you may ask, how do I know that I don't marry the wrong person? And this is a question that a lot of people ask. Okay, so number one. If you're pressured to fornicate, that person is not for you.
Yeah. Amen. Wow.
If you're pressured to have sex with somebody, that person is not for you. Because this relationship started off as a lustful relationship, yes, not as a God relationship. And let me tell you something, if you enter into marriage with a fornication mindset that from the past, once the sex is over and 10 years are gone, what do you have left? What do you have left? Because the relationship didn't start off as a godly relationship. Some of you are looking around like, I'm not talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Come on.
And what God is doing is He's cleansing out, 2014, He's cleansing out so He can build a new type of relationship. Because I know that there is a new breed of people that want to be violently holy. They want to be violently obedient. They want to be violently full of honor. They want to be violently honoring God. Because some of you don't understand. But if you want to create something new, you have to be a front runner. No matter what anybody else says, there's too many people telling you things about that relationship and say, it's okay to fornicate, it's okay to have sex, it's okay. It's not okay, because before the eyes of God, it is sin. I said it is sin, and we need to create a new breed of people. So, and the reason why you feel pressured to fornicate is because you're guilty. You're guilty of going to bed with that person. And some of you may say, yeah, Pastor, but you know what? That guy's good in bed. So some of you say, look at your neighbor and tell him, no te hagas el loco. Marty doesn't speak Spanish, so he's like... And let me tell you something, he can be excellent in bed, he can be a 12, but if he's not bringing finances to the home, if he's not seeking God, if he doesn't have anywhere to put you, then he is not worth your time. He is not worth any of you. Don't waste your time with some man que un sinvergüenza, that all he wants to do is open your legs. Don't waste your time with that man. I want you to do what I was doing. Grab the bat and go like that. Come on.
Come on.
Get violent.
Yes.
And the thing about this is you solved one problem by getting married, but then you created 10 more. How is that, Pastor? You solved the sex problem.
Come on now.
But now you have 10 more. You have to deal with the person's pride. You have to deal with the person lying to you. You have to deal with the person betraying you. You have to deal with the person not trusting the person. And in order for you to pick somebody, you have to say, Lord, let me see how much he worships, not only at church, but in private. Let me see how much of God he wants, and then I'll consider him. And sometimes, and I'm going to be completely real. How many of you want me to be completely real? Raise your hand. When you get married with that person, you fix things with God, but you ruin things in your marriage.
Wow. Come on.
And you end up getting divorced. And when you get divorced, you know what you start? You pioneer a movement of curses in your generation.
Come on, Pastor. That is awesome.
So why would you marry the wrong person? Number 2, you say I'm in love, but let me tell you something. Love never takes you away from God. True love never takes you away from God. So if that person really loves God, that person will bring you closer to God. That person will take you to the next level in God. That person will take you to the next level of faith. That person will make you the next pioneer of a new movement. That person will create a man or a woman that you've never seen before. A man that does not love God will not respect you. And I'm gonna go on the girl side now. How many of you men want me to hit the girls a little bit? Not physically. Come on, let's not get religious. I want you to smile at your neighbor. And the thing about girls is, you guys are excellent at talking. Yeah, you can smile. I see you. You girls are excellent talkers. You know how I know? A perfect example in the Bible, Delilah. And you girls know the perfect time to do it. And you know at what time it is? At night. You say to yourself, oh, I'm going to go down through my list of guys that look like Jesus. Oh, this one prays excellent. Oh, this one preaches amazing. Oh, Elder Peter? Oh, man, I got to text that one. Lord have mercy.
Night gets cold.
So you expect men that look like Jesus.
Come on, man.
But you flirt with everyone. And yeah, I'm speaking to you, girl. And some of you girls are awesome at doing your hair at a specific time. Let me not get into that. You know exactly where he's going to be. Oh, he's going to be on the right. So you know what? I'm going to stand right in the left side, and I'm going to praise the Lord, and I'm going to do my little twerk. And let me tell you something. Some of you girls have a doctorate in twerking. You are twerk worshipers. You twerk right on the position, and you know how to do it, and you know where to put it, because you know the man of God is looking at you. look at the girl next to you. Look at the girl and tell them, yeah, that's you. If you're feeling conviction, it's because you've been doing that for a while now. And we see poor Samson. Poor Samson. He was so strong, but yet so weak. He had so much charisma, yet he had low character. We can see that he had so much anointing, yet he was so ignorant. And you want to know why he was ignorant? He gave what he had to a woman. And when you give your authority to a woman, you know what you do? You know what you are? You're out of control. What does out of control mean? Out of control doesn't mean you're going crazy. It means that God, man of God, that you're here, God gave you a role as an authority. God gave you a position. Where are all my leaders at? Are they here? Okay. God gave you a position as a man, and why are you letting a woman take your place? When you let a woman take your place, you give a direct opening to the spirit of Jezebel. Oh no, Pastor, but you don't understand. I want a woman that has her pants on, and a woman, you should have the pants on. Why don't you put the pants on? Why don't you rise up as a man of God? Stop waiting for the woman to make decisions for you. Why don't you rise up and say, I'm the man, I'm the one that's going to pray, I'm the one that's going to fast, I'm the one that's going to seek God. Come on. And now there's the flip side. How many of you women want me to hit the man a little bit? There's a lot of men that use ministry. I don't want to get into that. A lot of men that use ministry. I want you to grab your bat and go like that. Come on. And let me tell you something, men, don't hide behind ministry to use your authority. And I say that for myself, because sometimes being in ministry, you can confuse your role as a minister, as a deacon, as whatever it is, and you take it to the house. I think I'm gonna go preach somewhere. Marty, where's your next show? I'm gonna go preach over there. Winter Haven. I'm gonna go to Winter Haven because over here they're not getting it.
Come on now.
How many of you understand what I'm talking about? And I'm not saying that being in ministry is wrong. I'm saying you have to learn how to balance things in the spirit. In order, in the Bible it says a false balance is an abomination to the Lord. You know what that means? If you don't balance your life right, you will totally go into ministry and forget your kids. And when you forget your kids, you forget the original intent of why God created you and me. And that original intent is called a family. And men, you can't call your role as an authority without responsibility. That's right. Come on. You have a role as a man. And women, how many of you want me to give you good news? Raise your hand. Come on. A man, what happened? A man without a woman is incomplete. I'm going to say that again. A man without a woman is incomplete. And you know what that means? If you are Apostle Paul reincarnated, please see me after the service, because some of you are more religious and more holy and more, you're always fasting, you're always praying. We ask you who you like and you say, no one, I'm reading the Word. I mean, when are you going to come to your senses and at least start liking a woman? At least have an interest for a woman and stop being so isolated, man. Listen to what I'm going to say. Man, listen. Everybody look up here. Man, and Dad said this. It was so powerful. He said, man was created with rough edges.
Amen.
Because he was made from the dirt. And because he was made from the dirt, that's why us men, we're so hard. We're so, I want you to look at your neighbor, and if you're a man, and go, come on. But not like a little kitten, man. You got to do it like a lion. Not like a kitty cat. Come on, Eddie, not like a kitty cat. I didn't say a hyena either. So men were created to be rough. So you, if you're somebody that's aggressive, be a little light on the women. If your father treated you hard and he was always militant at home, don't treat women the same way. You see, some of you treat women so hard, but women were made out of us men. So that means that women are soft. Women are tender. That's why women are so emotional. You tell them that the dog died and they start crying. You tell a guy the dog died and the guy's like, who cares? It's a dumb dog anyways. But what I'm trying to say is this. If you're a man, listen, if you're a man, learn how to treat a woman. In the book of Proverbs, listen, in the book of Proverbs 31, it talks about the virtuous woman. But Proverbs 11 talks about how women are like wisdom. It says she calls out in the streets, meaning that there's always a woman that is seeking for love from God. So if you're a man, don't treat I didn't say flirt with them. I said treat them with love, treat them with respect, open the door for them, let them know that you're a gentleman. If you want to look for a wife, stop using worldly tactics. Oh, Pastor, you don't understand, I got game, Pastor, I got game. I don't care, no girl cares about your game. It's not how much game you have, it's how you treat women. And are you guys learning something?
All the single niggas, all the single
And the reason, listen, and the reason, I'm almost done, 10 more minutes. And the reason why so many relationships fail is because the man didn't explain his vision to his woman. The man has to explain his vision. You have to tell her in a way, you know, they used to communicate in the 1950s in picture way, in picture form. They used to send pictures for everything, telegraphs. So you know what that means? You have to show the woman. You have to show her, you have to tell her, this is what I see. Look, this is what I see, baby. This is what I see. I see myself as a preacher of the gospel. I see myself expanding the kingdom. I see myself evangelizing. I see myself interceding. I see myself doing the will of God. And then when you explain the vision, the girl's going to say, okay, baby, now I can help you. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you everything that I have. I'm going to give you my heart. I'm going to give you my gifts. I'm going to give you everything and be a support for you. If the woman is not a support, she's going to drag you down. She's going to, and this is something that a man of God once said. He said, if the woman brings you back, you're going to delay your purpose 3 to 5 years. So if the woman is not for you, you're going to notice you're going to start going back and back and back in God, and you're not going to be going forward. And that's the same thing with women. If you see that the man of God is not taking you to where you're supposed to be, and he's taking you back, and he's talking crap about the pastor, and he's saying all this junk, that man is not for you.
Wow. Come on. Wow.
And this is the last thing I want to share. The reason why relationships fail is because they have false expectations of their mate. I'm going to say that again. The reason why relationships fail is because they have false expectations of their mate. They're expecting when they get home for the man to have an apron that says "best cook in the world," and with a little bow, a little flower bow tie with a bouquet of flowers and a lasagna, and for him to open the door with Frank Sinatra playing in the back, and that's good.
Come on.
But girls, don't make a Disney type of relationship. Make a real relationship from the beginning. I encourage you. Listen. I encourage you. I'm going to tell you something, and this is something I've used in my relationships, not only with people, but also with others. I encourage you to make fun of the person. I encourage you to get the person mad. I encourage you to fight with that person. You know why? Because when you see their true colors, when you see who they really are, that's when you can determine and you can say, okay, now that I saw that you got mad and I tested you, now I can get with you. Now we can think about praying. Now we can go to the presence of God. Now we can go preach the word, because I know the real you.
Wow.
And if you have false expectations in a relationship, you will kill the relationship. What is a false expectation? You're expecting something that is not real.
Wow.
You're creating a world that is not there.
Come on.
And some of you girls have created this Prince Charming, and it's kind of like what was that cartoon with the blonde prince that he looks a little weird. Shrek. That's not it. Narnia, Prince Charming. Where are the little kids? Where are the little kids at? Tangled. Is it that one? It's Tangled. Some of you are not kids at heart, man. You don't watch any Disney, man? Like, what's wrong with you, man?
I'm 15.
Believe it or not, all girls, even if they say they don't like Disney, all girls like Disney. Peter says that he's Aladdin. All right, so listen. So don't create a false expectation, because once you get in the relationship, it's gonna fail. And in order for you to choose somebody, you have to know your role as a man and as a woman. And there's 3 things that I'm going to give to you, and these are things that I've learned with my parents and I learned with myself. 3 things, write these down. These are gold for me. Number 1, taking responsibility. Getting a job, getting a house, getting a car, saving money. Some of you don't save money.
Come on now.
Some of you don't know how to save. Some of you spend more money on Jordans than you do on a date with your girlfriend.
I ain't saying
So number one, taking responsibility. Number two, take initiative. Take initiative to love. Even if the girl is immature, and even if the guy is immature, love that person until they change. Taking initiative. And number three, knowing your role as a son. And what do I mean by a son? A son, I mean as a son of God. And let me tell you something. If that man, and this is directed to all the girls, if that man doesn't get revelation from God, he won't receive instructions from God.
Come on. Wow.
James, I want everybody to bow your heads and close your eyes.